Hi everybody, hope you're doing good. Today I wanted to talk to you about a couple psychic stories that I had the pleasure and the privilege to read these two beautiful families. The first one, for all you dog lovers, you'll appreciate this. This was so heartfelt to me that I can't even explain it. I've never had anything like that happen to me. I had a wonderful woman on Zoom, and her boyfriend had passed away in a motorcycle accident. And it was very sad. And she just wanted to know how he was doing. You know, did he feel pain? The normal questions that people always think about. And it was interesting because he kept talking about his dog. And she goes, oh my God, I have his dog. And she goes, matter of fact, the dog is here. So the dog now comes next to her. And it was amazing because as I was reading her boyfriend, I could see him. And I could literally see what he looked like, everything. But what was even more amazing was this beautiful dog who was next to her. We were both looking in the same direction, and the dog's tail was wagging and getting excited because the dog was seeing what I was seeing. That beautiful spirit, his owner, came right through. And not only did I see him, but so did his dog. So it was really quite beautiful to not only be validated, because I don't need to be validated, but the dog validated me in such a profound way that I found it so touching. And I said to, his girlfriend, I said, your dog sees him. And she starts laughing. She goes, I believe that because he starts looking out of the clear blue sky, or he'll get excited and he'll just gaze. And she goes, I was wondering that. And I said, the dog sees him. But what a great experience for me that I not only got to do this beautiful reading and have him come through, but his dog saw him at the same time when I was reading him. And that took me by surprise. It was very heartfelt because after I was done, I just sat there for a few minutes and I was just going over everything of what I felt. And these beautiful animals, they are the most touching species, I really have to say, in this whole planet, because they see, they feel on so many more higher levels than we do as humans. So it's a great reminder. I always say to people, be careful what you say in front of your dog. Your dog truly does understand everything that you're saying. It understands the tone. It understands and feels the energy. They are so beyond levels than we are. So be thankful when you see your dogs. And if somebody very close to you has passed, pay attention to your dogs. Pay attention to your cats. They see the spirit. So I thought that was something that I just wanted to share because, like I said, I never did a reading with the dog present, that the dog was seeing what I was seeing. And that really touched my heart in so many ways. The second story I had were two females, and they wanted to do a joint Zoom session, and I did. And they just wanted to make contact with their loved ones. And it was really nice. So one by one, the way I do it, sometimes I get sick and I feel the symptoms that the loved one had passed or what it was going through. So my body, I always say, takes a beating when I do these readings because I feel everything. So all of a sudden I said, does somebody have dementia? Or did somebody die from dementia? And they're like, no. And I said, are you sure? Because my head is really, really hurting. And I feel like it's someone who's losing their memory. Is there somebody that passed over? They both looked at each other and they said, no, we don't have anybody like that. Well, the one says, but we do have somebody in our family that's going through dementia right now. But that's not who you're talking about. I said, actually, I think it can be because not only do I make contact with spirit, but I can also feel the present. So I'm just sitting there thinking. And then all of a sudden, the next spirit came through and said, it's me. And it was a male. I said, did somebody pass with heart issues? Because I felt very heavy on my chest. And they said, yes. The woman that we said is our cousin who's going through the dementia, her husband went through heart issues. That's what he passed from. I said, okay, he's coming through. And he wants you both to tell his wife how incredibly grateful he was to her and while he was sick, how she never left his side. And it was the most profound love. And he said, hurry and tell her how much I love her. Tell her how grateful, and tell her before she forgets it all. I almost started to cry. I really kept it together. But when this spirit was coming through, you have to understand, you guys don't see or hear it, but I do. And it is very touching. So when he said, tell my wife how grateful I am, how much she's loved, and when the time comes, he will be waiting for her. He came through with that beautiful message for these two women to go back to their relative, to tell her before she would forget, because she was starting to get dementia, and it's never a good outcome. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And he wanted her to know how much he loved her, how profound their love was, how he's going to be with her through the end and be there when she crosses over. But he never got to say anything to her, and he wanted her to know how grateful he was for that magic moment of everything that she did for him. So that really took me by surprise. And they both stood there looking at each other, and they said, wow. So we were expecting you to talk about somebody that's passed, but here you're coming through with what somebody in our family is going through. And then their spouse comes right after to complete the message. So it was a beautiful, beautiful story, and it stays with me. I find when love is love, no matter how long you've been married. It could be a year, it could be 2 months, it could be 50 years. Love is real. Love is painful. And when you lose your spouse, your whole world changes in an instant, and everything is upside down. So when you can hear from your loved one, it is the biggest gift you can receive. But just know and remind yourself, with these psychic stories that I come back and I tell you, please remember that they are always around. Even if you don't feel them, they're watching silently. Okay? So I hope this has enlightened you with these two beautiful stories, because, Spirit's a lot stronger than we give credit. So always remember that, and you're going to take a piece of these stories with you all the time. Okay? So until next time, subscribe to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and more to come. And hug your loved ones a little harder, because like I say, you never know. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.